If you weren't aware, I really like indie games. Indie games can practically be known as the Wild West of video games, since you'll never really know what you'll get when it comes down to indie devs. Think of them like loot boxes. You'll either get a legendary game that everyone loves to play and talk about, or you'll get a common, and it's a really lackluster game. Within this Wild West of video games, among all of the loot boxes of indie games, there are a select few that are hidden gems. Now, with the hidden gem indie games, one of two things will happen. Either they get a following so big that they get millions of copies sold, lots of merchandise, and are the talk of the town for years to come, or they just go unnoticed from a vast majority of people and they just don't get seen, but they're still really good games, sometimes. And speaking of hidden gems, Shovel Knight. Get it? Hidden gems? Shovel Knight collects gems. Nearly everyone that has played Shovel Knight will say that the game is really good and deserves the praises that it gets. The story isn't complicated at all. Evil tower full of evil people shows up, evil enchantress at the top of the tower. Shield Knight has been lost for God knows how long, and that's Shovel Knight's partner, by the way, and you must stop all the evil people doing evil things and stop the enchantress. Pretty simple. And as platformers are, they too are also simple, but hard to master. Aside from just platforming, you're able to use your shovel to both attack and dig up stuff for treasure. The world itself is well made. There are towns that you're able to go into that will let you interact with the townspeople. A knight of my caliber would never fall for such thoughtish behavior. My heart belongs to Shield Knight, you wench! Yeah, sorry, I lost my composure there. But each interaction is a tad bit different for certain characters. Hey, if I give you money, will you be my friend? Hey, if I give you money... What? Hey, if I... But I didn't even finish my sentence!
Give me your helmet!
What? Aside from the weird interactions and the platforming, there's obviously a lot of death. But if you bring this He-Man looking at chef a meal ticket, he'll make you food that's so good, you'll get an extra HP slot. Eventually, you'll get so much HP you have the same HP as a boss, but even with all that HP, death is still inevitable. And all of this dying has given me 150 deaths. Now, if you think that 150 deaths is bad, Cuphead. Cuphead has always been a game that I love and a game that I hate. To put it into perspective, the last time I played Cuphead was November of 2017. I finally beat the game 3 years later. 3 years. Cuphead is also in the same simple story category. Cuphead and Mugman make a deal with the devil, they put their souls on the line, they need to beat the other contractors, confront the devil, and eventually beat him. Very simple. The gameplay is also simple, but again, hard to master. Platforming, shooting, parrying, dodging, there's a lot to manage with each boss fight. The overall game can basically be summed up as a boss rush game, but it does it really well. This is the only game that made me genuinely mad. What the fuck? Okay, maybe not the only one, but it was the first one to make me angry. While replaying the game for the video, I had flashbacks of the Dr. Cal's robot boss, and just... And all of the bosses are creative and well drawn. There are a few bosses that I genuinely like either because of their music or the boss fight itself. Basically what I'm saying is that every other boss that isn't these 4 can suck my ass. And with each boss fight, if you die, it shows you your progress bar, and 9 times out of 10, it's a big middle finger to you because you were probably close to being the boss but messed up. Oh yeah, and pork rind exists. Please never do that again. Now, with all of that dying in Cuphead, let's see how many deaths I had when I first played. I'm starting to think that platformers aren't meant for me. God damn it. Celeste also fits in the simple story category. Who would have thought? Madeline decides to try to get to the tippy top of Celeste Mountain, and that's it. Celeste is purely platforming, unlike Cuphead and Shovel Knight where there's combat combined with platforming. Celeste has no combat, it's strictly platforming. And if Cuphead and Shovel Knight don't prove that I'm god-awful at platforming games, then Celeste is the nail in the coffin. The dialogue is actually pretty funny and well written, and the jokes don't make me shrivel up and wrinkle like a raisin.
Oh dear!
And the faces in the chat boxes are adorable. And of course, it wouldn't be a video game without some weird plot-related, didn't see that coming moment, so, Evil Madeline. And yes, I did die many a time, and this was just in the first few chapters. Now I can finally take a step away from the stressful platformers and talk about a more peaceful and relaxing adventure. Gris has been on my list of games to play for the longest time, strictly because of how beautiful the game looks, and my god, the game looks beautiful. The story isn't told at face value. It's one of those stories where you need to piece it together yourself as you keep on progressing throughout the game and seeing how it all unfolds. The art style, the music, the world itself, everything about this game is really a beautiful masterpiece, and I'd love to see more games like this. While I was at the end half of the game, I started to kind of understand what was happening, but I still wasn't entirely sure if I was right or not. Even if Gris was only 3 hours long, it was an enjoyable 3 hours. This was the only serious take throughout this whole video. Oh, and you can also do this. Indie games are fun, and I hope you enjoyed this video of me talking about these 4 games in particular. I know they aren't necessarily hidden gems, but I needed an excuse to play these games and talk about them. I'll probably do more videos like this, probably with another different genre choice or something like that, with 4 games again, hopefully, but we'll see. If you happen to have any genre choices, or maybe any other indie games with a particular genre, any game in particular, that you have a suggestion that you want me to make a video on, I would totally be okay with doing that. I haven't done this in a while. I haven't talked at the end of a video in a while, so this is us. It's us time. We can talk and have a conversation. But yeah, if you have a suggestion, go ahead and leave it in the comments, or if you have anything, I'm free for talking. So I hope you guys have a great day, great week, great month. Stay safe and drink some tea. Make tea, not war. Listen to Uncle Iroh.